down to our last topic for the afternoon. Okay. About carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins, we're going to do that on the next week. Okay? Is it right? Our schedule is, we have proteins and but on Tuesday, we're going to have your first assessment, right? Yes. Okay, so the topics that we discussed, we'll just focus on that. Okay? Focus. 4. So, the first laboratory activity would be on the 22nd after the holidays. Okay. Sorry, this is interchange post-lab discussion would be on the 22nd after your activity. Alright, let's start with our last topic. So we'll be talking about the metabolic pathways. So this time, I'm going to give you how to understand your metabolic, how to understand the metabolic pathways. So the first is more of what are the pathways all about. So it's just introduction, some definitions, and then we will get to understand how to study pathways. Okay. So here are the objectives. So I mentioned about anabolic, catabolic, pathways, right? So we will also delve into that. So what it means as well with anabolic pathways. And then with the outline for carbohydrates, lipids, and amino acids will be next one. Okay? But we will first get to also know how the pathways are organized and metabolic maps, and we'll devise strategies for learning the details of the pathway. Okay. So first, definition. So when we say metabolism, this is wherein within the body there is interconversion of the chemical compounds. Pathways taken by molecules. We also get to know their interrelationships and the mechanisms of how these metabolites are formed, degraded, how these metabolites are used through these pathways. So take note that in a reaction, you would get to have these types of synthesis of metabolism per encounter. For example, anabolic pathways. When you hear that term or read about that term, think just one synonym for it. Synthesis. Can you please close the door? Thanks. Thank you so much. Okay. So wherein there is from smaller precursors, you get to have large compounds when these precursors are combined. So what reactions are you thinking when we talk about synthesis pathways? So you would get in the pathway what? Addition, condensation. What else? What reactions? You just had our reactions topic. Oh no, you forgot. You're still young to have the yeah? Hello? Hello? What addition? What pathways aside from addition that you think would suit anabolic pathways? What reactions? What are the different reactions? You have transferable gas, the condensation gas, which among would part of metabolic pathways. Transfer to P1, what else? Substitution to P1, what else? Arrangement. Condensation. Okay, those are two addition, condensation. Okay. So when we say anabolic, there is synthesis. Usually they are endothermic. So we also need to know that they need energy. Okay. What else with anabolic pathways? What's the best example? Proteins, they come from amino acids. Carbohydrates come from glucose, now sugars. Then you condense them in the bird. Catabolic pathways, if you have it as the opposite, break down larger molecules. So that's why you have your split, your cleavage reactions, or other reactions that you would find in catabolic pathways. So there should be a breakdown of a compound to become smaller molecules. And usually they would involve the use of ATP as well, and they are exothermic. Redox reactions would also be part of catabolic pathways. So you need to understand, is this pathway then, is there a product formed of this pathway that is in a combination of the different reactions, or the reactions involved would lead to a product that is a breakdown of such compounds. Okay, catabolic, that's catabolic. Okay? How about amphibolic pathways? So it's the in-between, okay? Crossroads of metabolism. So they would act as links between anabolic and catabolic pathways. The best example there would be your citric acid cell. So it could be a mix. So this is where you will also have your even redox reactions, find it in amphibolic pathways. Rearrangements, also find this in amphibolic pathways. Okay? So usually there are no hard and fast rules where the reactions will occur. Okay? Alright? But just the point that sometimes most of the reactions is consistent with a certain goal in mind. You got it? Yes? Was it explained in simple terms? Okay. Next. Okay, here it goes. This time, you would want to understand pathways. So as I mentioned earlier, your pathways, there is no like absolute point of equilibrium. Because one pathway could be a product or could be a substrate. The product of this first pathway could be a substrate for the next reaction. Correct? So metabolic processes could occur through a series of individual chemical reactions. A chemical reaction is not a pathway. Correct? You need what? A series of individual chemical reactions. And usually these are under the control of enzymes. They could act as catalysts, okay? Wherein the substrate molecule will produce a product. Then these are referred then what we call as intermediates or metabolites. So as you can see here, these will become your metabolites. Okay? And the product of one reaction, as I emphasized, becomes the substrate for another reaction. So, when you want to understand pathways, like map reading, okay, ways, Google Maps, what are famous direction apps? Maxim. Or what's that movie? What's the next another class? Joyride? During our time, it's on class. Okay, the RAM. So, it's similar to map reading. So when you say you would want there would be traffic flows along the roads throughout the city. Okay. So who are from Cebu City or from Cebu Province? Any natives? Locals? Very natives to Cebu, born and raised? Only a few now. The rest of you are all over the world. Raise Cebuana, Bisaya, Bistak. Okay, but yeah, okay. So you know the ins and outs of Cebu? No? Oh, sheltered lie. Sana all. Okay, from where is who's from the north? North. Like Liloan, Pagkanang, Bubugo, that area. Okay. Who's from the south? South. Sigonga, Dalagyan, Rizal, something like Sangander. Sangander is north, so I was thinking of someone. Yes, it's the south. East is Talisay, Manila, Cebu City. Cebu City. Mandaue, Lapu-Lapu. Okay. The west is Toledo City, Balamban. No one from the west? Who's from the west? Yes, what part? Balamban. Okay, so I'm from Toledo City. I live in the west. But usually, if you're in the Cebu province, in your La Conchera, so you usually go out and have fun in the city. It's usually maximum, I think, of 4 hours to 6 hours from the tip north-south. But from the west, it's just 2 hours going to the south. Okay, because of the traffic flow. So my point is that in the city, got traffic rules, okay? Traffic rules. And don't you know that the longest bridge is already found in Cebu province? Yeah? Which one? Is that the one you can see there? No, that's not the one. It's Mactan Bridge. The first bridge, that's the longest bridge. From Lapu-Lapu, can you confirm? The Lapu-Lapu person cannot even confirm. Why? Because dog, it takes 3 hours to cross from Cebu, from Mandaue to Lapu-Lapu. Only a bit of the joke. Only joke. Don't worry, it's not that from Facebook as well. Okay. So, it's really traffic in Cebu. In compare to the way before, it's worse now. Okay? We are kind of competing with the Manila traffic already. So, the flow of the traffic is somehow similar to the flow of substrates within the sand. So you look around the city, you know this traffic, when you will see more lights on the road, right? Okay. So if you're gonna go for SRP, if you're gonna reach the peak hours, that's really traffic. Hopefully no one will get offended, but there are different traffic capitals in Cebu province. The north is in Consolacion, Luman. The south is in, that's one point. We also have Inglanilla in the middle, no? Going south. Right. Definitely, there has been no traffic going to the west. Again, as I mentioned, Lapu, they're going there, it's also traffic. Heavy traffic, by the way, you don't describe traffic as traffic alone. You should have a description to it. Is it heavy? Is it smooth? Okay? Sorry for that. You need to describe. So, now let's go into the cellular level. Okay. First think of cars, vans, or trucks. And then compare it with the numerous elements or atoms. We have the carbon, hydrogen, phosphorus, oxygen atoms. And then these are just flowing as component parts of the substrate molecules in the pathways. So when we say traffic, there's a stop, right? There's a stop sign, there is the yellow warning sign, and the ghost sign, right? So it's the same with the flow of substrates. So they could join or leave a particular traffic flow at intersections, or when we say converging or diverging pathways. And then the rate of flow could be affected if there are what? If there are roadworks, if there are accidents, vehicular accidents. So the prediction of the traffic, if it's heavy or not, depends if there is blockage. Lately in the tunnel going down, it has heavy traffic because they're repairing the other side of the road. So the same way with the signals, with the molecules. So that's why if a certain compound or component or a certain pathway is blocked because there is a deficient enzyme, usually that's what happens in our body system, then you would find that our body will try to compensate. That's why you will get shortcuts. Okay? So, and factors to ensure that there is proper flow of that traffic, of that area, would depend on what? Concentration of the substrates, and also depends on the enzymes as well. I think I'd like to say that the enzymes would somehow be traffic enforcers, traffic lights. Pwede ba? The prediction of a stop sign, if you could go, depends on the seconds, diba? So how long it's gonna be stopped for it? It's at the red light or the green light. So it's the same way with enzymes. So if the enzymes is the concentration is not enough, then you would have a slow production or slow go for the substrates. So, and there are times that, of course, we need gas, we need that fuel. So, in the same way, some molecules will need to be activated. So, you have your coenzyme, cofactors to attach to that certain receptor, and then so that there will be an activation of that flow or that pathway. So that's how you could correlate your pathways to our real life setting. So how is the pathway organized? So it could be organized in three types, or common types. It could be linear, it could be branched, it could be cyclical. So example there, glycolysis, usually it's linear. But when you at a certain, you're gonna focus from glucose to pyruvate. But it becomes branched when you want to, when it goes to the pentose phosphate pathway, when it goes to produce glycogen, it goes to give glucose as a storage form for glycogen synthesis. So it will be branched. Cyclical, the obvious example there would be your Krebs cycle. And pathways could also be compartmentalized, meaning you could find them in the different parts of the cell, as I mentioned earlier. So some pathways you find it within the cellular membrane. Okay? Some pathways you will find it in the cytosol or cytoplasm within the cell inside. Some pathways you will find it inside an organelle. Famous for it is the mitochondria. You will also have your endoplasmic reticulum. Okay? You also some pathways, the nucleus. You also have pathways that are also found inside the cell. Okay? Compartmentalized. So why am I saying this? So that in order for you to understand studying pathways, you need to have an aptitude of what we call as an active learner. So what is an active learning? So you need methods to understand so that you would remember rather than memorize. Memorizing, you have to remember everything. Okay? So sometimes you need to get your emotion, get your attention, so that you would learn, right? Experience, that's what as a cliche term says, experience is the best teacher. So in biochemistry, you need to be proactive in learning this one. Whereas if you just rather go and cram and memorize, it won't help you at all. So that's one tip. Second, it's like using the microscope. Who knows how to use the microscope? Medtex knows how to use the microscope. Who are Medtex here? What's it? Medtex, no? Okay. What's the first thing to do when you use the microscope? Stand and explain it to us.
Hello. My name is Miguel Lidia. We check on the night first. Make sure Thursday scanner first it's the depth. And then you slow, you rotate the objectives to firstly yellow or low power objective. And then if you see this is the cells or whatever you're trying to look for. Sometimes it's the epithelial cells we can use as the mark to know that you are in the proper proper modification. And then you move to the blue ring, high power objective. And then if you want more details, you put for you take out you rotate first out of the blue objective, then you use put some mineral oil, and then turn to the black objective, which is for the oil version.
Alright, thank you, Miguel. That's Miguel, guys. He's as well. Miguel, are you seeing those bigger than after 1-1. Okay, so Miguel is right. What's the purpose of the scanning objective? So, who are the other methods here? This one, let's meet introduce yourself, your name, your crush, just your name. What's the purpose of the scanning?
Hello everyone, my name is Jaira. The purpose of the scanner is
Okay, thank you, Ruby. Okay, Ruby, actually, partially said it right, but the purpose of the scanner is to give you an overview of the slide, of the specimen that you want to view. Okay, low power is when once you've got the borders within your side, you will now focus. That's the time. Scanning projectiles could also focus, but it's best when you use low power. So that when you shift it to the high power projector, it's easier. Okay? So, and for details, you need the oil version. Okay. So thank you, Miguel and Lily, for that explanation of how to use the microscope. You need it in your dispo ready. So, what is then the first? Why is it that similar from the microscope when you study pathways? Because we need also to note, it starts, although it says here we need a low power view, but I think it's best to we need to scan the whole pathway. Okay? We need to get the purpose of this pathway. What is the purpose of this pathway? So for example, glycolysis. When you say glycolysis, it talks about glucose that is being broken down to for what? Pyruvate first. Then the endpoint there will be yes, you are correct. So pyruvate first because there's another complicated pathway that will happen. So it's the PCA actually that will drive that production phase. Okay? So glucose. Through glycolysis, it's broken down to become pyruvate. So the purpose of glucose is there, okay, end goal. It will produce this substance so that it would be used as the energy for the cell. So that's why you need to get the edges first of the specimen. Same in the pathway, scan the purpose, know the different reactions, just in a general point of view, generalist point of view. Okay, so there is also important notes here. Be positive down. Okay, can you do that? Yes. It says there, number 1 rule. Okay, biochemistry is not just about passing your exam. But when you want to study, take have a mirror in front of your study table. Look at your face. Then you will see. Okay. Now the point is, correlate it with your experience in yourself, or maybe you know family members experiencing certain diseases, or certain situation, physiological reactions in your body, so that you would make it that this appears to be personal. Okay? So how these mechanisms occur inside you, how they respond to your physiological circumstance. And this is how it goes. First, scanning objective class. The overview. So you would get to ask, where does this pathway occur? Number compartments in the cell? Is it, what type of cell first? Eukaryotic or prokaryotic? Since we're dealing with the human body, definitely it's eukaryotic. So, is it, where? What compartment in the cell? Is it in the cytoplasm, in the cell membrane, in the mitochondria, in the lysosomes, etc. Okay, where? Then, next ask, what is the biochemical purpose of the pathway? Biochemical purpose. Okay? So, is it to release energy? As one said, glucose will break it down so that it will produce ATP eventually. Will it produce also a functional molecule? If you're into lipids, so what are the different components? Then, what are the links? Glycolysis has so many links. That's why usually it's at the middle of metabolic map. Usually glycolysis is the middle, then you have your display. The glycolysis can branch up to the pentose phosphate. Pentose phosphate could give rise to your DNA, nucleic acids. Another branch of glycolysis, if there's too much glucose that's not being used, it could go to the glycogen synthesis pathway for storage. Then there's also other production of your glycans, glycans. So there's so many, just part, that's just glycolysis we're talking about. It could also go for the erythrocyte RBC. That's specific for the RBC. What pathway? Your pentose phosphate pathway. So, what are also control points? What are the key enzyme regulators, inhibitors? Okay, by this time we will know there are certain enzymes that would give a loop, a feedback, could be negative or positive. Okay, in physiology, they will introduce you those principles. It similarly applies biochemical pathways as well. Sometimes the product that is produced could be an inhibitor, so that the stimulation could be stopped. So they say that there's enough for the product, so there is no need to produce more. So they would activate mechanisms. You stop because I have enough here for the moment. It's something like that. Then what does this pathway operate? Is it always active or is it an adaptive pathway? Is it a pathway that is always constantly running? Or is it a pathway that only is activated when it is needed? So you can ask those things. Overview. Then let's go for focus, the details. This time is the high power and the oil immersion type of studying. Okay, skeletal view. So take note of the first and the last substrates. How is the pattern organized? Is it cyclical? Is it linear? Is it branch? How many intermediates? What are these intermediates? What are the coenzymes involved? And where would you find them? Some pathways are dual. They would start off in the cytoplasm, usually they would end up in an organelle. Okay? So, then take note of the chemistry of the intermediates in the reaction. So this time, details, what type of reactions. I've shown you the different types of reactions commonly occurring in the body. And you need to now see, this type of reaction is a transfer reaction. And why is it a transfer reaction? So you get to ask yourself that. Okay? Usually the carbon atoms are present, types of functional groups are present. Does it contain sulfur? Does it contain ammonia? Does it contain an aldehyde or a ketone? So you get to see or ask yourself that. Structural similarities and differences between the intermediates. Chemical reactions, as I mentioned. So, and there's a reminder, don't worry about getting the right sequence at this point. But this is just more of getting yourself to understand that pathway. So next, learn the names of the enzymes. So enzymes, by this time, enzymes is really crucial in our body processes. So, how many enzymes, classification of enzymes are we talking about? Who knows what is it yet? We have 6 enzymes. What are those enzymes? So we have the polypropyl. Okay? Oxidases. Aces, no, that's it. Ligases, isomerases, aces. Okay. So, the point is, we have the enzyme classification system. But you just have to remember the 6 classifications. If you encounter an enzyme, you can search it up, which type does it belong. And make sure you know the purpose of how this classification works. Because by knowing their purpose, you get to know what reaction you are dealing with. Okay? So remember, dehydrogenases is associated with redox reaction. Isomerases is associated with rearrangements. Hydrolases is associated with cleavage. Remember? Then, learn the structures of the intermediates. This is the time you would want to be involved in knowing the details. Okay? Does it say memorize the structure? It's just that you know, you get to familiarize yourself. The whole point of studying pathways is just really to get to understand the purpose of that pathway. In each reaction of that pathway, you know what happens. By doing that, you understand. Even if you're given a case, you would know what you're looking for. Because you understand the pathway. For example, 50-year-old man, diabetic patient, diabetic, you would think, maybe the answer will come from glycolysis. It comes from ketones. So it's something like that. Okay? So then we draw the pathway in a different way. If you're that artistic, you could try to maybe start from the bottom to the top. Let's draw some icons or symbols that will remind you of that pathway. Okay, you can do that. So that your brain will be stimulated to remember. Again, back on your long-term memory, not on the short-term. Okay? So, remember who watched Inside Out 2? Then be creative, make the diagram as vivid and memorable as possible. So, let anxiety sit down, and let joy work it out. Correct? In a way. But actually, I think it's a balance of your interest and your drive to become a doctor. Okay? So, as of this moment, do you have any questions? Drop it at the 5 minutes. Drop it at the again, bye. Okay. So just to summarize, don't worry, I'll give you the list of the slides to your mayor. Oh, exams. I will give you 20 items. Let's break it down, 20 items. Blueprints, after to come out. A bit on the history. Maybe, that's 20 items. Then the rest would be scenarios, and you get to answer reactions. Each type of reaction. Okay? So just remember the keywords that I mentioned about reactions. So that's around 15 points. Okay? All reactions. Chemistry, no, I won't include that. And then the last points would be the metabolic pathways. So you know, there are only 3, right? So you understand those. Okay, so majority of the exams for next week will be about your reactions. Okay. Alright, thank you. So Maynard, do you have a CG